Football is not violent. Football is physical. It's only violent when you use your helmet as a weapon.
I'm a father first, and my son was 12, and he said, "Daddy, I'm ready to play tackle football," back in 1997. And I said, "Okay, I'm going to take you up and sign you up, but I'm going to help out because I don't want you to get hurt." And the president knew my name. He was a Bruin fan, which is cool. And I said, "I'd like to help out." He says, "You're the head coach." And now I went from one little kid that I was, scared to death for, and now I have 25.
Bobby Hosea was a defensive back at UCLA in 1977 and 78. Following 3 years in the Canadian Football League, he returned to California, where he has enjoyed a successful career as an actor, appearing in more than 70 TV shows and movies. It was his role as a father, however, which led him to his most important assignment.
I started doing the research. Then I started seeing all these injuries that result directly from people hitting with their head. And I just was on fire to go out and share what I knew I had been doing since '97 with the rest of the world.
The research that Bobby found showed that 1 in 100,000 high school football players suffers a serious spinal cord injury. Last year, more than 1.1 million kids played high school football. It was his belief that the majority of these injuries could be avoided if the proper tackling technique was taught at the lower levels of the sport, and the time to do so was now.
85% of all football-related brain injuries on every level of football competition happen in practice. These numbers need to be a wake-up call for us, not just to hear them, but to do something about it. All you got to do is look at the offensive line, for example. If you're a guard, you're going to read the front of the defensive front. You've got to step with a certain foot. You've got to engage the opponent at a certain part of his body. You've got to hit him with a certain part of your shoulder to work up to the linebacker. That's very intricate detail, right? Where's tackling? Why doesn't tackling have that same sort of detailed approach? That's the part that everybody stays away from, but I've focused on it primarily. Number one was to keep the kids safe. I didn't want to see a baby that couldn't get up.
Football season is starting for young players across Southern California. Parents and coaches are looking for ways to prevent concussions. CBS 2's Rick Garcia shows us a local tackling camp which teaches kids a 12-step safety technique.
He sounds like a drill sergeant.
Don't drop your head.
Barking out commands.
Guys, right foot in the hole. Watch these two guys. Wings. Back toe. Safe. Lay him down. Explode those hips. Hit, boom. Good. I don't want the head to go down.
Reinforcing tackling techniques that could keep someone from getting seriously hurt.
The way you tackle, which will keep you safe. Okay, there's no accidents. Brain injuries are not accidents. People get paralyzed in football. It's not an accident.
Bobby Hosea is the founder and coach of Train 'em Up Academy, a tackling camp that teaches kids a 12-step tackling method. The one-time UCLA defensive back who played professionally in Canada and the U.S. Football League created his tackling program back in 1997. In 2011, a study was done on his method.
There was a scientific research study done on my tackling technique. It showed a 43% reduction in helmet first impact. That was 100% of the crown. That's where all the problems are. You take the crown out of the tackle, you take out a multitude of injuries.
Take a look at this hit, one of the most talked about from last year's college football season. Jadeveon Clowney making a direct hit with the crown of his helmet. At Train 'em Up Academy, kids are taught to use their hips and arms to help keep their heads up and out of the tackle.
1, 2, 3, knock it out!
Safety is a big concern for parents like Chris Matthews from Torrance, whose son is starting on a freshman squad.
Good, very nice!
For me, it means everything. My son hasn't played Pop Warner football, and before he started high school football, I wanted him to have the basic mechanics on how to tackle safely.
It is that focus on safety that drew some 150 people to the LA 84 Foundation and a special youth sports conference on football head trauma. And should children even be playing tackle football?
We're in our third crisis now, and it's the concussion crisis. And I hope we can kind of understand a little bit about what's going on with this injury.
Dr. Robert Cantu is one of the foremost authorities on traumatic brain injury and has authored over 379 scientific publications and written some 32 books, including Concussions and Our Kids. He clearly understands the danger of blows to the head, especially to kids.
Bobby's here, and I love what he's done with the tackling for youngsters. Technique is a huge thing if taught properly, can avoid a lot of unnecessary head trauma. Much of it happens with poor technique.
Our role, or my role as medical director at USA Football, is to hopefully promote a better, safer game. And as we've implemented the heads-up football tackling program, which is fit just along with Bobby's program, which I think is awesome.
More inventive things like Bobby has done, that's what we need, I believe. We just can't be doing it with live bodies. The price is too high to pay.
According to a source, Donnovan Hill has died at age 18. Hill was the California teenager who led to increased safety protections and regulations for young football players after an injury left him paralyzed. In 2011, Hill's story became national news when the 13-year-old fractured his spine during a Pop Warner Championship game in Laguna Hills, California. In a 2014 lawsuit against the Youth League, Hill and his mother, Crystal Dixon, claimed that the teen used a dangerous head-first tackling technique taught by his coaches, which subsequently led to his paralysis.
I remember I was on the bed and they was asking, they was seeing what I could feel or not. I was like, can you feel this? Can you feel that? And I kept saying no.
Doctors confirmed what everyone feared. Donovan's neck was broken. He was paralyzed from the neck down. A closer look at the play reveals what happened. Donnovan led with his head when making the tackle. Worse yet, his head was down. Was this something Donnovan did a lot, putting his head down?
Unfortunately, yeah. Donnovan was our player that just seemed to come in a lot like that. And I'll be honest, I would say things like, you know, you keep hitting like that, you're going to end up in a goddamn wheelchair.
Throughout the season, Donnovan consistently led with his head when trying to make a tackle, a dangerous technique banned by Pop Warner and other organizations all the way up to the NFL. Where did you learn that technique?
Coach it.
Your coaches?
Yeah,
Yeah, which coach?
I don't know if there's only one. Mostly my head coach, Sal.
The head coach, Sal Hernandez.
Yes.
And what did you think of that technique? Did you have any concerns about it?
Yes. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it. Did you express those concerns?
Yeah. I told him that this is not the right way you hit.
The right way to hit, according to Pop Warner's online training course, is to keep the head up to the outside of an opponent's body before making contact. Hernandez denies teaching bad technique.
I can't imagine a coach ever telling his kid, go out there and spear him.
Right.
Hit him with your head down. That's football 101. Keep your head up.
But Pop Warner rules ban not just spearing, launching at an opponent with the top of the helmet. They also ban face tackling with the forehead, a technique that Hernandez and his coaches did promote. Donnovan says he raised his concerns about head-first tackling in a one-on-one hitting drill early last season when a teammate used his head as a weapon.
I told the coach that I'm going to get hurt like this. Like, I don't want to. This is not the right thing to do. And they just told me to, like, stop whining. And they sent me to the back.
Do you recall that situation?
No.
At all?
No.
You don't recall any situation where a kid was leading with his head and Donnovan complained and you said, Donnovan, stop complaining?
No, I don't recall a conversation like that happening.
Coach Sal said he didn't remember that particular situation, wasn't sure if he was there.
Yeah, he was.
He was there?
Yeah.
And he was yelling at Donnovan?
Yeah.
And what was Coach Sal telling Donnovan?
Same thing as all the coaches, get back in line, stop being scared.
Assistant coach Manny Martinez confirmed the incident.
I know the exact moment. We have this kid, he goes in to hit Donnovan, and Donnovan kind of backs out. And we're saying, what are you doing? Go hit. There's your hitting drills, you got to go. He's saying he's hitting with his head. It's like, no, he's not hitting with his head, he's hitting with his forehead. That's kind of where you're supposed to hit if you're going head up.
And after that, I just started hitting with my head because that's what they told me to do.
As a head coach, Hernandez was required to pass Pop Warner's online training course. Assistant coaches like Martinez aren't even required to review the materials, and he says he never did. So how do you know about tackling?
Been playing since I was 10 years old.
But how do you know what is truly the right way versus what you've learned in the past if you haven't taken the test and learned the curriculum?
I couldn't say. I mean, I only know what I've been taught. I've been taught, and like I said, I think it's the right way. It's the right way to do it because I've never been injured and I played my whole life.
Ready? Wait, let's go.
Now, this is Donovan's life. A medical bed in the apartment he shares with his aunt and his mother, and a wheelchair where everyday life has become a struggle.
Pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling.
Already, Donovan's rehab and medical bills have topped $2 million.
We need to elongate your arms, remember? You don't want your arms stuck in that position, okay? Find that center of mass for me. Hurts?
His mother's insurance, through the grocery store where she works, covers 80%, leaving her hundreds of thousands in debt with no end in sight.
I have no idea how I'm going to pay that. I have no idea what's going to happen to my baby when he's 18 and of age. Who's going to help him? Where is it going to come from? It breaks my heart. It hurts. It makes me angry.
So who bears responsibility for what happened to you?
The people that taught me how to hit this way.
Your coaches. What emotions do you have for your coaches?
I still love all my coaches.
Still love them?
Yeah, all my coaches, yes.
He said, I still love my coaches. How does it make you feel?
I love them, and I miss him.
What would you like others to learn from your situation?
Do what you think is the best and never be pressured into doing something you know that isn't right.